It's been 1 week since OU received a commitment from pitcher Sydney Berzon, and it's been all quiet on the portal front since then. So it bears the question, with only one player acquired, are the Sooners done in the transfer portal? Let's talk about it. Let's also talk about what's happening at Texas Tech and the drama surrounding their transfer portal efforts. Also, is OU a winner or loser so far in the portal? We'll also discuss that and a lot more as well. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel as well for more OU softball transfer portal content. Let's do it. All right, so the Sooners have the #1 player in the transfer portal, Sydney Berzon. She comes from LSU. That ranking is courtesy of Softball America. We've seen other players into the portal. Some really good players have entered into the portal, but nobody else has the 99 rating like Sydney Berzon. But is this it in the portal? Is OU officially done? I think it's possible that OU is done in the transfer portal. What they wanted more than anything was a top pitcher with a lot of experience. And they checked that box in a big way. Best pitcher, ton of experience, a lot of SEC experience as well. They did a fantastic job of fulfilling that top need. Now, the question has always been, I think, since the start of portal season, what's #2 on their priority list? Is that another pitcher? Is that another catcher? Is that more outfield depth? And as of Friday, June 13th, it's still a bit difficult to answer that question with 100% certainty. The truth is there just hasn't been a lot of information readily available. And ask some of the national people covering softball, they'll tell you that OU is routinely one of the more difficult teams to get info from. And I think that that's exactly the way that OU likes it. Like, think about the Sydney Berzon edition. Even with her, there were some rumors leading up to it, but it was still relatively quiet leading up to Patty's Go Boomer tweet. So I think if you see another tweet from Patty Gasso, another Go Boomer tweet, it's going to seemingly come out of nowhere. Now, I'll offer somewhat of an educated guess. Is OU done in the transfer portal? I'll say no right now. I think we see at least one more player commit to the Sooners. Well, what position is that going to be? Again, hard to say at this point. A lot of the top players in the transfer portal are committed elsewhere by now. And with the transfer portal closing on Monday, I wouldn't expect to see a ton of major names to enter the portal that haven't already. Side note, by the way, the portal does close on Monday, but that does not mean a player in the portal has to decide on a school by Monday. That deadline is for players entering the portal. They must alert their current school that they attend on entering the portal by the deadline on Monday. And another side note, graduate transfers can enter the portal at any time. So I think OU will take at least one more player, and here's my best guess in likelihood of the position that it could be. #1, most likely, another pitcher. Another pitcher that comes with high-level experience. Now, they're not going to get a pitcher to the same caliber of Sydney Berzon. There's not another pitcher to the caliber of Sydney Berzon, according to Softball America. But if they take another player, my best guess is that it's a pitcher, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pitcher with Power 4 experience as well. Second most likely is a catcher. Sounds like at the beginning of the transfer portal cycle, there was definitely interest in OU taking another catcher, someone that is highly sought after at the position. I think catcher, second most likely. And then 3, an outfielder, someone who can provide depth. I think that your outfield, the way it looks right now, is going to be really good. Even if you're starting a true freshman and Kai Minor out there, you've got some really, really good options. So outfielder would be my third most likely, someone that can provide depth, very good defensively, fill a role for you that you're going to need next year. Those would be my 1, 2, and 3 in terms of most likely positions to add. Now, I don't think OU is going to take someone just to take someone. Take a body just to take a body. If they take anyone, I think that they're going to take someone that they feel like can be in the mix immediately and really serve a role for this team and potentially even start. And I'll say this, I agree with a lot of you in the comments. Is OU done in the transfer portal? I don't think so. I don't think yet that's the case, but if they are, great. I mean, you'll see me be totally happy if they're officially done in the transfer portal. I don't want to add a bunch of players at the expense of burying the young talent that you have coming in. And by the way, neither does Patty Gasso. Like, she said that recently. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she has. She knows all the talent she has coming in, and she wants that talent to develop as well. Patty Gasso, breaking news here, Patty Gasso knows exactly what she's doing. But yeah, I really like the team that they have today. And even if Sydney Berzon is the only ad, I think that you're a legitimate national championship contender with the team that you have today. So back to the original question of, is OU done in the portal? I say no, but this was never going to be a big portal class. Patty Gasso said that herself. Doesn't need to be. With all the talent that you have coming in, all the talent that you have coming back, this does not need to be a big transfer portal class. And even if OU isn't done, even if they're still out looking to add players, they're very, very close to being done, I would say, at this point. Texas Tech is all over the place in the transfer portal. Wow. For the second consecutive year, they are the big storyline during portal season after getting Nigeri Kennedy last year. They've gotten Taylor Panel from Tennessee. They've gotten Caitlin Terry from UCLA, Jazzy Burns from Ohio State, Mia Williams from Florida, and more. And they're probably not done. They already have the best portal class out there. But how did that all come together for Texas Tech? Well, there's an article out via Softball on SI with the headline of how an NIL loophole is transferring Texas Tech into a softball powerhouse. The article that was published on Thursday, June 12th, states that NCAA rules prevent head coaches from recruiting players actively on opponents' roster, but there aren't rules in place to prevent a third party from approaching those players. This loophole has opened the door for All-Americans to join Jerry Glasgow's program, the Matador Club, Texas Tech's name, image, and likeness collective, and Coach Nathan Nelson of Hot Shots Fast Pitch, a travel organization based in Texas, have reportedly been heavily involved in the process. Very interesting, and there's more. It goes on to say, Softball on SI spoke with 6 Division I programs about what is happening in Lubbock, and while it is completely legal, it raises concerns about morals and ethics. A parent of a player who was contacted by Nelson spoke with Softball on SI in exchange for anonymity and said they received a phone call in April with a 6-figure offer to transfer to Texas Tech. Quote, I know for 100% fact that there were kids in April and even earlier than that signed. Nathan Nelson told me before April 7th they were signing kids from other schools while they were playing with other teams to go to Texas Tech in 2026. And now for the OU tie. Softball on SI reached out to Nelson for comment, and he declined any involvement. 10 sources confirmed with Softball on SI that Nelson or the Matador Club also contacted, and you see several players there, Taylor Panel being one, Dakota Kennedy, Reese Atwood at Texas, and you see Kasidi Pickering's name listed in that group. Wow. It goes on to say that Panel entered the transfer portal on Thursday with a do not contact tag and was reportedly in Lubbock with instructions not to appear in any photos because she wasn't in the transfer portal, according to an additional 4 sources. So wow, that's a lot. That's a heck of an article with apparently a lot of sources backing it. But clearly the OU tie there is what stands out to me and probably what stands out to you as well. I mean, can you imagine the uproar, what it would be if Kasidi Pickering, just would have entered into the transfer portal, and then we're finding out that she was contacted during the season and that's why she's going to Texas Tech? Wow, that would not be a fun storyline to talk about. Now, Kasidi Pickering, just an awesome person, an awesome softball player, has already accomplished a lot at OU. Better days are ahead for her at Oklahoma. So it's not shocking to me whatsoever that Kasidi Pickering didn't, take a tampering deal in the middle of the season to go elsewhere. She seems really happy. But thankfully she didn't, because that would have been bad. Would we be upset right now. And we have every right to be upset. Just like other teams, such as Tennessee, Florida right now, have every right to be extremely upset with the way that this went down. Glad Kasidi Pickering's back. Boy, that would have been really, really bad if we had to talk about that right now. But this is a fascinating article. And there's even some tweets out there saying, Jerry Glasgow did the same thing at Louisiana with transfers. He just has money to offer now at Texas Tech. So, is this wrong? Well, it may not be illegal. Tech apparently found a loophole. But morally, is it wrong? Yeah, I think so. I don't love the idea at all of using someone to tamper with players from other schools during the season. I really dislike that, and I don't know how you could like that as a fan of the sport of softball. How could you love that? Now, am I naive enough to think that Texas Tech is the first and only school in softball to ever tamper with an athlete? No, of course not. I'm not that naive. So I just don't love the overall thought process of this at all. But I think Tech's messaging here is pretty clear. They've got money to spend, and they're going to do what's necessary to build a roster they feel can win a national championship. And with the current structure of things in this sport and just collegiate athletics as a whole, there will be some complaining. Absolutely. Some coaches might even come out and call out Texas Tech for what's happening. But is there going to be any punishment? Will the NCAA investigate into potential tampering? No. I think Texas Tech, though morally I don't love it, and morally I think it's wrong, I don't think that they're going to see any punishment outside of hearing words from people in the sport that really dislike how they put together this transfer portal class. But here's the deal. Like it, love it, hate it, Texas Tech has been the big winner so far in the transfer portal. They've acquired some really, really good players on paper, some of the best players available in the transfer portal, and they're going to be better next year. Probably even significantly better than they were last year. So unless some sort of punishment is handed down, and I have a hard time thinking that's going to be the case, you got to label Texas Tech as a transfer portal winner so far. What about Oklahoma? Are the Sooners, even if they don't make another transfer portal addition, could you say that OU is a transfer portal winner? I say yes, and I say yes for more than just one reason. Reason number one, OU got their top target. They got Sydney Berzon. That was their top target in the transfer portal. That's not always easy to do. So even with the transfer portal class that's going to be small, when you can get the number one overall player and that player addresses your biggest question mark heading into the postseason, to me, that makes you a winner. The biggest question mark to me going into the offseason is who is the ace going to be in 2026? I think you answered that. And I think you answered that in a big way with Sydney Berzon. The other reason I think you're a winner in the transfer portal is the players that you were able to keep on your roster from other teams. I just read to you the article where Kasidi Pickering's name was kind of mentioned in names that reportedly have been tampered with by Texas Tech. She's staying in Oklahoma. And yes, you lost some players to the transfer portal, but I don't think any of those players caught OU by surprise. And I don't think any of those players were probably going to be everyday starters in 2026. So the players that you really wanted to keep, you did. Tennessee can't say that. Florida can't say that. There's SEC programs out there that lost players that they really wanted back and frankly counted on being back in 2026. Not the case with Oklahoma. The Sooners are a transfer portal winner for more than just one reason. Elite tier in 2026. Way too early, but who do we consider as the upper tier of national title contenders next season? I have three currently right now. Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas Tech. I absolutely believe that OU is a title contender and will be better in 2026. Some questions still need to be answered. Who's going to play first base? Can they be better at catcher than they were last year? But OU is, without a doubt to me, a true national championship contender in the year 2026. So is Texas. They've been that for a while now, just won their first national championship. They do lose some really good players like Jolie Mitchell, Mia Scott, but they've got Reese Atwood, Tegan Kavan, several other big contributors back. They also have a good recruiting class coming in, such as Gatorade National Player of the Year, Hannah Wells. She'll be a freshman, and you know that Texas is going to make some big additions in the transfer portal as well. And then there's Texas Tech. This will be the best supporting cast Nigeri Kennedy has had. She has legit offensive weapons in the lineup now. Tex, they're going to be really good next year. They'll probably be really hated as well. I wonder if they're the new villain in college softball. They take that from Oklahoma. Maybe not. I guess we'll see. But not a whole lot of people going to be rooting for Texas Tech next year. I think that they're probably going to be really hated, actually. but they're going to be really good. And a team that's trying to buy their way to a championship, like, we'll see if that works out, but they will definitely be a strong contender. There's obviously going to be some other really good teams across the sport. Tennessee and Carlin Pickens will still be good. I think Florida will be good as well. But as of today, I think OU, Texas, and Texas Tech are your top 3 teams looking ahead to next year. So what do you guys think? Is OU a transfer portal winner, loser? What do you think of all the craziness happening right now at Texas Tech? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching.